poster in my head. So I'm holding myself on a precipice, and I've been dreaming off the ground. So I'm looking for something that's definite. I'm praying you don't let me down. It's gotta be all. It's gotta be all or nothing. All or nothing. Oh, it's gotta be all or nothing.
Uh, yo, okay. Have to quickly back out of that. I guess I got them mixed up. That was the outro. Welcome, welcome. I am flabbergasted right now. I am We'll just ignore that ever happened. Welcome to season 6 of the 5FI Racing and .com channel. Season 6 of the Founders League. Right now we're currently viewing the website. Did you guys miss me? I miss you. If you'd like to join us, you would go ahead and click here on SimGrid. I'm gonna do this very quickly because I'm curious to see what's gonna happen because we have an interesting showing today. You'll click the first link or one of the first ones. Of course, it's season 6. If you want to register, currently the registration is closed, so hopefully it'll reopen after this raid, but we will find out after. If you'd like to join us, registration will be open there. The rules, we have a laundry list of rules. In the background, I guess you can say, we'll start from the ground up, from the bottom up. Incident reporting, everyone should report their own incidents. Code of conduct, everybody play nice, you know. We don't like dirty moves and stuff like that, or we will punish you for that. Penalty continuation. So let's say you got a penalty for whatever reason and you decide to not finish the race, then that doesn't excuse you. You're still gonna get that penalty. Yellow flag compliance. Obey the yellow flags. So there's a yellow, just slow down, no passing, you know. Typical yellow flag rules. You see a blue flag, someone is sending it harder than you, go faster. You know, things like that. Today's race is in Bathurst. We don't have much standings because, you know, everyone is at 0 points. But, you know, regardless, I am curious to see what's going to be happening. We'll transition very quickly. Give me a minute. Have everything on the screen ready for you guys. So, to my knowledge, if I'll just bring up my document here, no one could actually start the qualifying for the first 60 seconds. We have a 21 minute qualifying. As we're currently viewing Albert Tranchisi, our season 5 winner, rocking the number 1 livery, special livery for him. Love to see it. We'll get a close eye view of it throughout the whole race eventually. But as I was saying, for the first minute of start of qualifying, no one is allowed out of the pits. So the reason for that is everyone lines up and everyone waits 60 seconds, or from what I was reading, I'm not exactly too sure, but everyone lines up in a single file line, they wait a couple seconds and then they're off, and then they start the quali. And since we have two formats, I guess you can say. What's the word I'm looking for? Groups? Qualifying groups? Driver classes, that's the word. We have a gold driver class, which is the pros, and then the silver driving classes, which is the semi-pros. Just because you are in one class doesn't necessarily mean that you are a worse driver, you can say, because you might have some like aliens over in the silver semi-pro area that will probably get bumped up to gold like very quickly. But New formats aside, Albert had a nice, clean lap, which is what we love to see. A couple of our other drivers are still in the pit. Zach Manriquez. I know he has a new livery, and it's not showing, and I am slightly upset. Will Stewart's livery, however, does show up, so I am even more confused as to why Zach's doesn't show up. So, nonetheless. So our drivers today are currently split up into two different groups. We have the gold group and the pros and the semi-pros. And I am so hoping that you can hear my mic and everything. Regardless, I'm just gonna keep on going by. Basically, first 10 minutes of the group, the pros are out and they're gonna be running their quali laps. Everyone's gonna do their own thing. We'll see who gets the top spots, who gets the down to the bottom. After those 10 minutes, though, then the second group goes out, to my knowledge. And then they get to run their quali laps out. New season, new format. This is going to be a lot shorter of a season. We have 7 races with one grand finale that, ladies and gentlemen, you need to be here. If you miss any other race, do not miss our 7th race, our final race. I am hyping it up right now. We are going to the Green Hell. We are going to the Nürburgring. Not the GP, but the actual, what is it? 10-mile long circuit? I know it's a super long circuit. Yeah, we're going there. So mark it in your calendars. I'm not exactly too sure when to mark it, so when I get updated on that, I will let you know. There we go. Our cameraman's getting fixed. Daniel Hirsch rocking the Merc. This is different. I'm used to seeing him in a Beamer as he gets so close to that wall, gets slightly intimate, going up into the mountain. Nice, cool livery though, regardless. Unless that's not the livery he chose and I'm not displaying it correctly, in which case then that sucks again, and you know, oops. If you give me a moment, ladies and gentlemen, I will try to get some background music to display here. Let's see if this will work. We should have some music now while we wait for our racers to finish their qualies and everything. Well, a bunch of our drivers have already placed their lap times down. We have Albert Tranchisi currently sitting in P1. He's sitting at a 201.810, a blazing fast lap. Right behind him, we have Kyle Hirsch. He's at a 203.382. He's in P2. I'm getting people confused. We have 17 drivers in the grid, and this is a healthy amount of drivers, which is very nice. We love to see this. I think I just confused Joshua Worley's car, the BMW, for Daniel Hirsch's, but I'm not too sure. Regardless, Joshua Worley right here, he's currently sitting in P3. He has a 2:03.407. I'll pull up the actual lap times down so you guys can actually see and go down the list with me. Greg Landry, he's in P4. Setting at a 2:04.465. Rocking that and nice, what is that? Baby blue? Teal blue? Very nice. Daniel Hirsch, if the cameraman can, there we go. He's sitting in P5. He's at a 2:05.605. We have 11 minutes left. I would say this would be maybe one more lap for our drivers to go around and do their business, try to get their best time down. If what I read and what I said in the beginning is correct prior, so we shall see. Also, I heard there's extra like little bits and tidbits of rules where if you don't obey it, you will get heavily penalized. I'm talking 15 seconds worth of penalties in the race, which is it's a good chunk. Not race ending, but it's you'll start in the back and you'll suffer. Greg Landry. Yeah, he was in P5, sorry. Kevin Barfield, one of our new drivers. He's sitting at P7, 2:06.340. And Justin Fry, also in the pits. He's at a 2:09.327. He's sitting in P8. A couple of our other drivers, I believe, are also heading out of the pits, or will be lining up, as you can see there. We have Will Stewart in the front, followed by Zach Manriquez, and I'm not sure who is behind Zach. Might be Albert. Albert number 2. Albert. How would you pronounce this? Guinea? Gianni. Albert G. I will ask him how to pronounce his name so I don't butcher it post-race. As a bunch of our drivers are currently leaving our pits, that means our first set of quality drivers should be in the pits. And they are. Everyone read the rule books. Everyone's obeying the rules. We love to see it, as we'll go up to Will Stewart and see who else is going to be going up and down the mountain. Hopefully the mountain doesn't claim casualties. Or claim victims, I mean. And cause casualties, but you know. If it happens, we will be here to find out and witness all the goodness. I'm gonna be here checking out Jonathan Kelly for a cool minute while I step out very, very, very quickly. Okay. I'm back. I'm getting my bearings in. First stream coming back is gonna be a rough one, especially learning these new rules and new drivers. Currently watching Chris Unfair. Hasn't set up lap time yet, but I am predicting he will beat Will Stewart and be right behind Greg Landry. He's going to snag P7. I'm calling it out right now. Don't place your bets, because if you do, you're probably gonna lose. A few of our other drivers have started putting their lap times down. This is fun to see. Still in P1, we have Albert. No one has seemed to knock him down. Joshua Worley got very, very close though at a 202.650. What will Chris Unfair go, or what will he get as he finishes the chase, heading into Murray's corner? The final corner. And Chris lands in P7. Let's go. Wow. My prediction was spot on. Very nicely done, Chris. Go faster and get that P1 spot. Yeah, please. Please and thank you. Teach Albert a thing or two. Knock him down a peg, you know. Can't let our season 5 winner stay on top very long, you know. Someone's gotta humble him. Will he be Jeff Kelly? If our cameraman can focus right. There we go. Will it be him who will be humbling? As he drives the very new car in ACC, the Mustang. I do not know how this handles, but I am very intrigued and interested in how it does and how it performs throughout the whole season. Victor Savo is just about to complete his lap. He's currently sitting in P16 at a 209.467. Let's see if he improves. He does, a 208.440. That's just enough to beat Justin Fry. He goes straight. I was probably heading to the pits. That was a bit funny to see on the camera from a different point of view. As we'll check out Will Sir while he goes down the mountain. Currently sitting in P9. Rocking a very cool Porsche. A new custom livery for him. The Iron Lames. Zach Manriquez should have also been rocking his own set of Iron Lames, but for whatever reason, you didn't pop up, it didn't appear. Unusual. Nonetheless, we have 1 minute and 40 seconds left in qualifying. We still have a few of our drivers out and about, Zach being one of them. Albert G being another. Chasing down Will Stewart. While we have you here, might as well go over some track info. No here and there. Currently, I mean, as you can already see, we're in Bathurst, Mount Panorama. The overall length of this course is 3.86 miles long, or 6.21 kilometers long. There's a total of 23 corners. The preferred setup is all over the place. It's medium downforce, medium suspension. However, depending on your driving style, you might run a higher downforce or lower downforce. It all depends on how you are able to control the car, how you're able to handle the car going up and down the mountain. This is ultimately a driver preference type of track. As Anthony almost has a Code Brown moment, almost at the crest of the mountain. Albert G though is on a very fast lap. It's looking like he will be jumping up a good number of spots, and he does. He lands P6. Very nicely done. He ends up with a 203.120. Great driving. Chris Unfair is going to be trying to snag a position. He's currently 4 tenths, roughly. Was 4 tenths on his pace. Had a little bit of a mistake there. And he just calls it quit right then and there. The key action areas, as I was saying, are continuing from then on, is turn 1, Hell Corner, turn 2, the Quarry, turn 18, the Dipper, turn 20, 21, turns 20 and 21, also known as the Chase. You can also loop in turn 22, even though that's technically not a key action area. Since it's nearby, we'll be keeping a close eye on that. And the final corner, turn 23, Murray's Corner. Those are the key action areas. Every other section of the track, we will be paying attention to, but those key action areas will pay extra attention to. Those are where the overtaking opportunities can arise, can happen. I guess you can say the key crashing areas would be anywhere in the mountain, anywhere going up or down. Usually, no incidents arise everywhere else in Mount Panorama. It's only in the mountain where it gets a little bit hectic. We also have some what would you call these? From 5FI history, I guess you can say. League history over in Bathurst. We have some fun facts that we can share while we try to run the clock out. So the league has held 10 previous GT3 races at Bathurst. A total amount of 1,882 race lap, excuse me, with 49 different drivers. And the driver with the most career starts is Jacob Meyer. He has 8. Very nice. As well. Jump into the live view very quickly. Not sure what's going on my end. We're just going to ignore. If you're watching currently live on Twitch, please say hello. I see you. How do I pronounce this? Arctarian? He's cheering for Barfield. Let's go. Hopefully he ends up winning the race. We will see. Nonetheless, we have P1 as Albert. No one was able to knock him out, unfortunately. P1 rocking the number 1 as our Season 5 champion. Right behind him, though, Joshua Worley trying to take a jab, trying to take that P1 spot away. Will he be able to do it? Smells like a champion. All I'm gonna say. P2. I'm not sure if there's going to actually be a long lap, but if it is, then we will just finish the intros later. We have Kyle Hirsch in P3, Zach Manriquez in P4, and there's a green. We're going to go into the helicopter views to see if any incidents arise in turn 1. Currently, no incidents are happening. Everyone is being fairly nice and clean. This is what we love to see. A couple of our drivers going just off-road ever so slightly. Albert's still in the top. Kyle Hirsch able to overtake Joshua Worley, though. He's sitting in P2, trying to close the gap between Albert and Casey. They gotta do it very quickly before Albert gets all that clean air and just takes off like a rocket. As they head up the mountain, and so far no incidents look to be happening, which is very, very nice. Everyone is still very, very close to each other. It's very hard to predict exactly where the action is going to take place or what's going to happen as we jump through every driver, all the camera angles, all the views. Albert almost at the bottom of the mountain. as one of our drivers does have a little bit of a racing incident. We'll go back and check to see what exactly happened here. Currently viewing the replay, didn't go too far back enough, but it looked like he just managed to unsettle his car right after Skyline, threw him off to the left side. Unfortunate. I was able to stay away from the racing line and rejoin safely, so hopefully he doesn't have too much damage, didn't sustain too much of an injury as we're now in the live view. Fastest lap by Albert right now at a 2:09. He's not too far from Kyle Hirsch, and everyone else is, for the most part, staying within a nice and tight pack. This is what we love to see. We do have Joshua Worley though. He's going to have to defend against Daniel Hirsch, who is looking to take the position. As what was going on there? It looked like he was drifting epically. As Worley makes a mistake, goes a little bit wide, as now it's going to be a side-by-side up the mountain with Zach Manriquez trying to get into this, trying to make moves happen. Daniel Hirsch manages to secure the P3 spot. Joshua Worley right behind him. Zach Manriquez eagerly wanting to get by. This can be a potentially sticky situation as Daniel Hirsch makes a bunch of mistakes, slowing the whole grid down now. Oh no, Will Stewart having a bit of an issue right there. We can go back and check out that real quick, as we're now currently viewing the replay. It was, I think this bump upset him for some reason. That bump right there, it upset his vehicle. Kind of crazy, man. Tapped the wall. Manages to keep control of the car though. Overall impressive. We're now into the live view as Will's going just a tad bit wide. This is gonna... Too many of these mistakes will allow Jeff Kelly, who's right behind him, and the rest of the grid to overtake him. It'll be interesting to see if anything else happens. As we'll check out the front. Currently, Albert is still trying to pull away from Kyle Hirsch. Has roughly a 2-second lead. Alexander Sabo is getting into a nice epic fight with Greg Landry over at P9, who is looking to try to make moves. Jonathan Kelly is also in the deep end with Kevin Barfield, as they're starting to go up the mountain. Seeing these drivers go up the mountain, I still, just like last season, I get a little bit distracted and kind of hold my breath for them, because going up is an experience. Going down at pace, at speed, is also an experience. Kevin Barfield having a little bit of a mistake there, slowing down ever so slightly. Jonathan Kelly, though, not slowing down. He's pulling away. He's going to try to make moves on Anthony Muno. He does complete the overtake. Will a switchback happen? They're hard on the brakes into the chase. Jonathan Kelly hits the curb, has to go in the grass, loses not one but two positions. Will it be a third if Justin Fry is close enough? No, just two positions. Nonetheless, though, that is a mighty blow right there. He completed the pass, but just had too much speed on that curb. Too much speed to scrub off. Kevin Barfield, he's trying to make moves happen. Secures the pass against Anthony Muno. Will he be able to hold on to this? He's currently sitting in P11. Moving on up. As he starts heading up the mountain, entering the cutting. So far, our drivers have not had too many incidents in the mountain, which is what we love to see. Even though we kind of want to see the incidents happen. Nonetheless, he's going down the mountain. He's pulling away, getting a lot of distance between him and Muno. Just pace exploding out of him for this this lap. He's currently a second and 7/10 up on his fastest lap, which is very, very nice to see. Love to see it. Albert still in P1. He is pulling away from Kyle Hirsch ever so slightly. Jeff Kelly trying to make moves happen on one of our founders, Will Stewart. He's getting a very, very close into turn 1 hell corner. As they approach or heading into the mountain straight. I will be predicting that Jeff Kelly is going to try to remain very, very close to Will and make moves happen on the Conrad Straight, exiting the Forest Elbow, basically exiting the mountain. Zach Manriquez will also be doing the same, as well as Jonathan Kelly. All these drivers are getting very, very close to making overtakes happen. Trying to intimidate the driver in front to make mistakes. Jeff Kelly still remaining fairly close to Will. Almost a second down on him. As Will has a really big mistake. I guess the pressure got to him or he couldn't slow down the Porsche. This is going to be the opportunity that Jeff needs if he can get around him. It's looking like he's trying to find the speed, gets cut off or blocked by Will. Not able to complete the pass or make the move happen. Very good attempt regardless. Another attempt between Anthony Muno and Victor Sabo. Victor completing the overtake. Anthony Muno getting the short end of that battle. Ends up in P13. As they start their new lap, I'm going to be heading into Hell Corner. Zach Manriquez has been fighting with Joshua Worley for quite some time now. That this is starting to allow Chris Unfair to get closer and closer and closer. It's gonna turn this small battle into a potential three-way battle, which can get spicy, especially when they go up the mountain. As Zach hits that wall pretty hard, damages the right side of his car. Hopefully is not enough that it requires him to pit. Nonetheless, though, he's going to be feeling the effects of that in the straightaway. Chris Unfair could take advantage of this opportunity and get even closer and potentially make a pass. I'm sure Worley can actually use this opportunity to just get away, as Will Stewart has a big incident. He's not in the apex, but very, very close. As we're going to go back and check out the replay, see what happened. He just couldn't stop on time. And unfortunately, he couldn't slow down the car enough. Applied the brakes in the wrong section of the track, lost traction, and that's all she wrote. As we're now currently viewing the live view, Victor Sabo. Someone had an incident of their own as well that I might have missed. As we have a bunch of new drivers that I will be for sure going and introducing the next sprint. This is a dual sprint today. This is just a 30-minute race, 2 30-minute races. Kyle Hirsch still trying to get closer and closer to Albert Tranchisi. Albert is just pulling away. He's currently 5 seconds ahead. As Kyle Hirsch has a big mistake. Just couldn't seem to slow down the car, tap the brakes at the wrong section, wrong moment. Greg Landry also having a mistake of his own. Or has a white flag, so he's slowing down for some reason. Good for Kyle Hirsch, though, managing to get out of that situation cleanly and safely. As we jump to Greg to see what exactly happened to our fellow driver here. Does have a bit of damage. His top speed might be affected. This would allow Alexander Sabo to get on by, as he has a cool new livery that I'm just taking a look at right now. Love it. And BMW, one of my favorite cars, so it does have a soft spot for me. As a couple of our drivers are going into pit. This is good to know. Pit stops are not required, nor are they mandatory, I guess you can say, for dual sprints. You still can pit if you do have damage, or if you want to change tires or do whatever you want. But as a special rule, for dual sprints, refueling is not allowed. It is not permitted. So it is very important for our drivers to refuel and get out of the quali fuel before they head out on track into the race. As Kevin Barfield is looking to chase down Alexander Sabo. He's been climbing up the ranks, currently sitting in P8. Will he be able to take P7? He has 14 minutes left to make this happen. There's plenty of time to get close and force a mistake on Alexander Sabo. Zach Manriquez is still fairly close to Joshua Worley. He's roughly 2 seconds away from him. Joshua Worley coming close to Daniel Hirsch. He's roughly 2 seconds away from him. So the battle for P2 can be happening very soon. Battle for P3 also happening soon, as Zach has a big issue, a big mistake. It looks like this is the exit of the chase. Check out the cameras for quite some time to see what exactly happened. How did he end up in that one section? So he's currently heading down the Conrad Street. We're looking at the instant replay. He's hard on the brakes here, very hard on the brakes. Does he clip the? He does clip the curb. And the turn 21 of the chase, that curb is claiming victims. And claiming victims left and right. Unfortunately, that caused Zach a bunch of positions. He was in P4, now he's in P8. As Greg Landry has a big mistake. We'll go back and review what exactly happened. That was in the downhill section of the mountain, the end of Skyline, I believe. Or starting of Skyline, sorry. He's hard on the brakes here. Oh, he's late on the brakes. Oh, has a big crash. That's unfortunate, as Jonathan Kelly is now having an issue. Into the cutting. Interesting. We'll go back and see if we can review this. He's entering the cutting here. Oh, he just loses his rear brake, or the rear wheels. I guess too hard on the brakes. And slams into that wall pretty hard. Has to go into the pits, unfortunately. Joshua Worley getting very, very close to Daniel Hirsch, though. Daniel also climbing the ranks. Can't remember where exactly he started, but he's currently sitting in P2. Not too shabby. I know I'm tripping out. I can't remember who was actually in P2 before. Nonetheless, though, as Joshua Worley gets close, we have a few of our other racers getting into heated battles. They're getting very, very close. Zach Manriquez is one of these who's going to be trying to introduce himself into this three-way battle with Kevin Barfield and Alexander Sabo. This is the fight for P6. There was some technical difficulties on my end. It appeared that the race was, I don't think it was red flagged, but everyone's names lit up red with lap times and everything. Regardless, everything is back to normal. Kevin Barfield is still trying to get close to Alexander Sabo. Alexander Sabo, though, pulling away ever so slightly from this. And Zach Manriquez is giving Kevin Barfield a run for his money. He will be getting the slipstream. I'm not sure if the Porsche will have enough pull to get past the BMW, because the BMW has a pull of its own. He does have the speed to close the gap, but not to complete the overtake. He gets very, very close to him, though, not giving him an inch. He's trying to make this move happen here. Gets almost side by side. Kevin Barfield forced to be on the defense as he's hard on the brakes. Good fight from these two. They can't be fighting for too long though, because they're going to let Alexander Sabo get away. As Zach tries to get on the inside, decides against it. Kevin Barfield gets the corner, the racing line out of the health corner. Zach Manriquez, like a shark, trying to find a way to get around Kevin. He does. It looked like he just put on some boosts there. Just flew right by him for the last couple of feet. As they head up into the mountain, entering the cutting. As Alexander Sabo has a mistake of his own, that's going to cost him a lot. Zach Manriquez is closing the gap. Kevin Barfield following very closely behind him. Alexander Sabo has a mistake. Having a rough time going up the mountain, losing control of the BMW ever so slightly. Zach managing to get right by him. Kevin Barfield not too far behind. This could be his opportunity to get by Sabo. As we do have a white flag on Barfield. Not quite sure what happened. He is a lot more behind than he should be. Zach Manriquez with that good overtake. Unfortunate for Alexander Sabo having that mistake of his own. Victor Sabo, though, trying to make moves happen against Anthony Muno. He's currently roughly a second behind him. There are 6 minutes and 35 seconds left in the race. Still plenty of time to make that overtake happen, as Anthony Muno touches the inside curve at a turn 21. Quite dangerous, as we've already seen plenty of our drivers wipe out just by briefly touching that corner. Luckily though, he didn't lose too much control and too much speed off of that. Nonetheless, Victor Sabo is getting closer and closer and closer. I predict the next lap, he'll be attempting to make that overtake. If not this lap on the Conrad Straight, he will for sure be trying to close the gap and going up into the mountain, trying to get as close as possible to maximize the slipstream coming out of the Forest Elbow. Not too far behind them though, it's I believe Jeff Kelly. No, it's not Jeff Kelly. Jonathan Kelly. Who, if he does get close enough to make a move happen, we have Jacob Meyer having an issue. This is entering the mountain. This is around Reed Park. We'll go back into the replay and see what exactly happened here. Looking like he's pulling over. Probably has too much damage. Oh, just clips the outside wall. Clips the outside wall again. Oh, that's gotta be a blow to the ego there. He was doing very, very good. Sitting in around P11, I believe, and now he's P14 as we're now in the live view. Albert G and Justin Fry having a big issue, or having some fights of their own. We'll go back and see what exactly happened. What were the events leading up to this? Yeah, Justin Fry on the racing line pulls away. It looked It looked like he was trying to get out of the racing line to allow the faster driver Albert G to get by it, but it's just the awkward line of its own just forced Albert to go wide. As Victor is now trying to make moves, heading up into the mountain. Just finished quarry. And Jonathan Kelly trying to make moves happen. This won't be a battle for position, but if he does get past him, he can unlap himself. This late into the race, though, it's probably best to just stay back and let these two fight it out, not to intimidate. But regardless, he doesn't have to necessarily do that. Victor Sabo losing a bit of pace, possibly getting freaked out that Jonathan Kelly is getting so close behind him. As Jeff Kelly has a white flag under his name, he's slowing down for whatever reason. Not exactly sure why. Probably made a small mistake there. Victor Sabo having a bit of a struggle bus, trying to close the gap with Anthony Muno. Muno fighting for that P9 spot, not gonna give it up so easily. As Albert goes around the dipper, around the force elbow, into the Conrad straight. Currently P1. He's just pulling away from Daniel Hirsch at this point. He's 23 seconds out. Pretty much is looking to have secured the win, the race 1 win in Bathurst, if no other mistakes happen. Barring any other mistakes happening. Victor Sabo, though, getting very, very close against Anthony Muno. Jonathan Kelly trying to get mixed into this. Trying to push him into Anthony Muno. Sabo losing speed on the uphill. Jeff Kelly with the yellow flag. Unknown yellow flag. Victor Sabo getting close. Trying to close the gap. This will be one of the final. This might be it for him. I'm not too sure if he'll have enough time to start another lap. It's at this point it might be do or die. He's going to have to try to make this move happen. He's within striking distance. He has the slipstream. He's currently 5/10 off of him. He's getting very, very close. Using all of the slipstream to get close to Anthony Muno. Muno is going to have to go and switch from offense to defense here. He doesn't. He stays on the racing line, clips the inside curb, doesn't get thrown off. Luckily, he doesn't get thrown off. Victor Sabo doesn't. I couldn't make the move happen. And that might be... That isn't it. They do have another lap to go. As he makes a slight mistake, an unfortunate slight mistake. This is going to allow Jonathan Kelly to get by if he so chooses. He gets right alongside him. Trying to squeeze out. And he does manage to squeeze out Victor Sabo. Anthony Muno still in P9, not giving that spot up so easily. As Kyle Hirsch has a incident of his own. Not sure if he's doing victory donuts or if he's trying to get on track. Trying to get on track. Jeff Kelly having a yellow flag under his name. There is no shot. I think Jeff Kelly ran out of gas and he is just puttering along trying to finish the lap. Because everyone is just blowing by him. He's losing positions left and right. He was sitting around P5, now he's currently in P8. Oh no! Will he be able to make it to cross the finish line? Put the car in neutral, let it cruise, dude. He might not have the remaining fuel left to finish the lap, ladies and gentlemen. How unfortunate. He's in P9. As it's Victor Sabo, he gets by. He's 21 miles per hour. It's 19 miles per hour. 16, 15. The finish line is there. Oh, he gets a push by Jonathan Kelly. Oh my. Who pushes him to the finish line? What a guy. How unfortunate for Jeff though. He manages to at least finish in P10. He could have finished a lot higher in the ranks because of that, but oof. So good overall race. Race 1. Had some a bunch of our drivers had some ups, had some downs. Daniel Hirsch had an amazing up. Who ended up in P2. Albert Tranchisi pretty much showing us that it feels like it's a walk in the park for him. Finishing 24 seconds ahead of P2. I do remember it was oh my, what was his name? Kyle Hirsch. Why am I blanking out? It was Kyle Hirsch who was in P2 who had an incident that we'll investigate and most likely show in the race recap for next race. As Arcterion on Twitch does say, come on, someone push him. And there he goes, yep. Jeff Kelly pushed him. Jonathan Kelly pushed him. Very nice of him to do. I'm pretty sure they're teammates. Need to get caught up on all these teams and all their names and everything. As quali number 2 has started. As you'll see here, everyone needs to line up. There's 21 minutes into the quali, but the first minute is spent just lining up. Albert first in line, ready to get out. Ready to get the show on the road. Right behind him is a was that Kyle? If our cameraman can no, that is Kyle. Who was that? Or did Kyle just want to get in front of him for whatever reason? Who knows? Nonetheless, everyone is obeying the quali rules where you have to line up. The first group lines up and has 10 minutes to rock and roll, set up their quali laps. As they go up the mountain around Griffiths Mount, Reed Park. If you can manage, you can take this whole section flat out. It's fairly difficult. And I've seen Albert go down, take this downhill section, and he takes it fast. Albert Tranchisi. I forget there's two Alberts now into the race. Albert T. A wild downhill that I could only try to emulate. Alexander Sabo and Kevin Barfield. I'm expecting another good battle between these two. Yo, what's up, Chris? That was a good race one. 100%. Got my work cut out for making a good race recap now. As our bunch of our drivers are starting to get a little bunched up. Heading up it to the mountain. So we have two new entries. Who is on the track? We have Alan Aravalo joining us on track. And who's the other new driver? Kyle Busch? It might be Kyle Busch. I don't think I saw him in the race, rocking the Audi. Alan rocking the Ferrari. Not sure if he knows. As he loses control, oh my. Albert putting a blazing fast lap again at a 2:01, 5:10. We can probably sit here and enjoy his next lap, potentially getting faster. Hirsch coming in at a P2 with a 2:02.607. Daniel Hirsch right behind Kyle, sitting in P3, 2:03.952. Kevin Barfield currently sitting in P4. He's at a 2:05.022. Greg Landry trying to get close to him at a 2:05.455. Justin Fry, P6, and Jacob Meyer, P7. They're at a 2:08.832. Jacob Meyer is at a 2:09. 3-1-2. As this isn't well, this is a really good lap by Albert Tranchisi, currently setting an even faster flying lap. I won't spoil it too much as what his new time is going to be, but he is putting down a purple sector right now. As he's hard on the brakes into the chase. What great driving. I could only wish to be like him when I grow up one of these days. He's hard onto the brakes. As he crosses the start-finish line, he improves his time by a good margin. He's at a 2-minute, almost a 2-minute flat. 2:00.777. The lucky sevens. And now it looks like he's taking a cool down lap. Probably does not want to abuse those tires. Maybe he'll go around a second time and improve his time even faster. What a lap! What a lap! Who was that in the BMW? Was that Greg? Was that Greg? No, it wasn't Greg. Meyer. Whirly. It was Whirly. It wasn't. I have no idea who was driving that BMW. But they came out of turn one kinda hot. Almost lost it. Whirly sets a nice lap in. He's sitting at a 2:03.810. Currently sitting in P4. Code Brown fail. Yeah. Yeah. It sucks to see you make those mistakes, flat six. Especially going down the mountain. You're doing really, really good. Kevin Barfield going into the Conrad Straight, or actually in the Conrad Straight. I've been seeing a lot of our drivers get so close to that curb, where I'm over here actively trying to avoid that curb. And for the main reasons, if you were here to view race 1, is that curb has been taking a lot of victims, causing havoc to a bunch of our drivers. We currently have 1 minute left for the drivers who are currently out on the field to finish and complete their quali. This is probably going to be the last lap that they will actually be able to finish before they are forced to pit or suffer the consequences and get that 50-second penalty that no one does not want to get. Regardless, though, we currently have Albert at P1, Kyle at P2, Albert Tranchisi in P1, Kyle in P2, Kyle Hirsch in P2. There's 2 Kyles in here. Joshua Worley, P3, Daniel Hirsch, P4, Greg Landry, P5, Alexander Saibo, P6, and Kevin Barfield, P7. Justin Fry is in P8 and Jacob Myers in P9. Oh, after these 10 minutes are up, the second group, Group 2, is going to go out on the field and have a chance to party, set their lap in. We'll see what their paces is going to be. Currently, we have 19 racers out on the field. We had 17 last race, so Some latecomers coming in, nonetheless, though. It's going to be quite exciting. The grid is getting more and more filled day by day. Not a great way to to start your quali lap, Zach. But a good way to test the limits, I guess. Lightly grazing that wall. Lightly grazing that wall too. Oh my, he is pushing to push. Alan Arvalo sets a nice lap. He's over here at a 208.677. He's currently sitting in P8. But managed to beat out Justin Fry and Jacob Meyer. Predictions. I'm not exactly too sure what is going to happen. Usually in race 2, everyone's pre-race jitters are for the most part gone. So everyone will be racing a lot better, or usually that's what tends to happen, you know. If you have a dual sprint, your first race is like all the nerves kick in. You make mistakes, get messy. Accidents happen. Race 2, not so much. Race 2 is usually a lot cleaner, but a lot cleaner in the beginning, not necessarily towards the end, as people start to get a lot more brazen and get into fights and cause accidents that way. If you're just joining us though, welcome. This is quali number 2. We're going to be starting our race 2 in roughly 7 more minutes. Currently in Mount Panorama. Total course length is 3.86 miles long, 6.21 kilometers long, 23 corners. The setup is personal preference, I will say. The ideal setup is a medium downforce and medium suspension. That's not to say that's the overall best and fastest setup that you can run out there. Depending on how you're able to control the car, you might want to run a harder suspension with less downforce, or vice versa. Maybe you want more downforce but a softer suspension. It's in this course is purely driver preference in the setup department. The key action areas, though, that is not driver preference. These are where the key action areas happen. Turns 1, Hell Corner. Turn 2, the Quarry. Turn 18, the Dipper. Turn 20 and 21, labeled the Chase. 22 is also part of the Chase. It's the very next corner after those. I mean, yeah. And turn 23, Murray's Corner, or the final corner. As Will has a little bit of an issue coming out of the Chase, or heading into the Chase. So some race winners while we follow Kyle Busch. In order, we had Fernando Sacramento Jr., Jeff Kelly, Kyle Busch, Jacob Meyer, Neil Kerbel, Zach Manriquez, Bruno Maionchi, Daniel Hirsch, Albert Tranchisi, and Sam Staples. Those are our race winners for Bathurst since we've been running this series or this league. Currently, we had 10. We've held 10 previous GT3 races at Bathurst. for a total of 1,882 total race laps with 49 different drivers. Jacob Myers starting, having the most career starts in this track with 8, which is wild and nice to see. The most pole positions, it's a tie between Kyle Busch and Albert Tranchisi. And well, the old quali lap record was a 201.320. Albert today knocked that out of the park. The new quali lap record will potentially be a 200.777. Congratulations, Albert. That was a fast lap. And believe it or not, Albert Tranchisi set that previous quali record in the McLaren 720S GT3 Evo in Season 4 of the Founders League. So he is getting faster season by season. We love to see it. The most career podiums, however, is being held by Zach Manriquez. He has a total of 5 podiums. And the race lap record is a 201.972. I'll let you guys guess who set that blazing fast lap record. I'll give you a clue. He's currently in the grid at this current moment. He's in the race, I mean. Do you have your guesses? Have you made your guesses? It is Albert Tranchisi. He said it in Season 4 of the Founders League. Said it with the McLaren 720S GT3 Evo. As we're currently viewing Jonathan Kelly, who is having a pretty decent lap. Albert G. Not sure how to pronounce his last name. He's in a very, very, very fast lap. He's currently roughly 1.5 seconds above his previous personal best. So if he manages to hold on to this, he will be jumping a good portion of the grid, probably landing himself near where Zach is, right behind Zach, I believe. Maybe in front. As he exits Murray's corner, he outpaces Zach Manriquez, snags a P6, and nicely done. I really like the way that Mustang looks. Or the livery looks pretty sleek in my opinion. Luckily there's a bunch of walls and a bunch of barriers around Bathurst because there's crowds everywhere, and we already know what Mustang drivers are like. And we do not want to see what they can do with the crowd. Nonetheless, though, Jeff Kelly, he's currently sitting in P13, sitting at a 204.802. If you look on your screen, everyone's pace is pretty darn close, minus Albert Tranchisi. He's the one outlier, sitting at a 2.0 flat. 2-minute flat. The difference between Joshua Worley and Kyle Hirsch is roughly 1/10 of a second. The difference between Kyle Hirsch and Daniel Hirsch is even closer, at roughly at 1/100th of a second. And then going from them, we have Chris Unfair with Albert G, Zach Manriquez, Jeff Kelly, who managed to snag P8. Love to see it. Kyle Busch, Will Stewart, they're all sitting at a 203. Very, very close to each other. Entering the 204s, we have Greg Landry, Alexander Sabo, Kevin Barfield, Jonathan Kelly, and Jonathan Kelly. That's where it ends up. They're at a 204s. They're fairly close to each other. Victor Sabo starts the 207 group. Victor Sabo, Alan Aravalo. And I believe Anthony Muno just got a new blazing lap. My God. They're basically in the 207, 206, 207 group. Then we have the remaining drivers, Justin Fry and Jacob Meyer. Basically, it looks to be that we will have a distinct battle. What is this? 1 group, 2 groups, 3, 4 groups long, excluding Albert. He's on his league of his own. We need to just like throw, I don't know, 20 more kilograms of ballast into his vehicle to slow him down. I don't know. Deflate his tires. Make him run in limp mode. Joking aside. Welcome everyone. Race 2 is about to start in a couple seconds. Currently on a small little intermission. All the drivers get a chance to cool down, unwind, line up on track, do their setups, fix their setups. Remember to get out of quali fuel. I'm looking at you, Jeff Kelly. We do not want to see anyone run out of fuel right before lap ends or the race ends. I am not tripping out. My transition is not here for whatever reason. Nonetheless, we're just gonna completely ignore that. It's already been too late. Albert Tranchisi starting race 2 in P1. Joshua Worley, he's in P2. Kyle Hirsch, P3. Daniel Hirsch, P4. Chris Unfair, P5. Albert, I'm going to butcher this name, Gania. Probably said that entirely incorrect. P6. Zach Manriquez, P7. We will figure out how to get your livery to show up because it's not supposed to be that unless you wanted it to be all carbon fiber, in which case, alright. P7. Jeff Kelly, why are we viewing... for whatever reason, we can't see Jeff Kelly's car. But he's in P8. Kyle Busch is in P9. Will Stewart, P10. Greg Landry, P11. Alexander Sabo, P12. Kevin Barfield, they're going to battle it out, P13. Jonathan Kelly, P14. Anthony Muno, P15. Victor Sabo, 16. Alan Aravalo, 17. Justin Fry, 18. And Jacob Meyer, P19. Ladies and gentlemen, the race is about to begin. What are your predictions? The green light is on. Flag is being waved. Hopefully no carnage into P1. We're going to be flying through the cameras and making sure that no incidents arise. And it looks like we are all A-okay. So far, so good. Albert taking off again. Kyle Hirsch trying to close that gap. This is going to get spicy up into the cutting. A lot of our drivers are side by side. Who is that who's being left out? Who's slowing down by a lot? Nonetheless, we're going down the mountain. We're following Jeff Kelly down the mountain, who's getting very, very close to Albert G. Sitting in P5. Albert actually doing very, very well for himself, as Greg Landry has a big issue of his own. Oh no, what happened? We're gonna check out the replay and view. He's hard on the brakes. Still, oh, just misjudged that corner. Got slightly tapped. Almost caused a train of collisions there. Unfortunate for Greg Landry. Trying to get my bearings back again. We have Will Stewart getting into a potential fight with Chris Unfair. Kyle Busch is also getting into another fight with Alexander Sabo. Currently watching Will. This battle unfolds. Will Kyle Busch make a move? He does not, as they're both heading up into the mountain. Will having a little bit of a slide. Probably got a little pedal happy, trying to get out of the crust. I mean the cutting. As he remains fairly close to Chris Unfair, not giving him much room to breathe. He's hard on the brakes. Gets through the beginning of the downhill section. We still have a couple of turns left. The dipper followed by the force elbow. He's losing a little bit of pace against Chris Unfair. Daniel Hirsch, though, trying to make moves happen on Joshua Worley. He's trying to get the inside. Doesn't complete the overtake. Joshua Worley manages to close the door, have the speed to get right by him, or to stay ahead. Too many battles to to pay attention to as Victor Sabo goes a little bit off road. Well, we'll go ahead and check to see what exactly happened here. Currently viewing the replay. Oh, did they make a little bit of contact there? As I think they might have briefly touched coming out of the Conrad Strait in the beginning of the chase. Unfortunate. Daniel Hirsch trying to stay fairly close to Joshua Worley. Jeff Kelly doing the same thing to Albert G. Chris Unfair right behind Jeff Kelly, and Will Stewart just creeping on by. He's within an arm's reach of getting close to him. Daniel Hirsch making a little bit of mistakes, losing the pace. Not Jeff Kelly though. He is right on Albert, not giving him any room to breathe. Chris Unfair, same thing. He's right behind Jeff Kelly, pretty much letting him know, hey, make a mistake and you'll face the consequences. I'll blow right by you. So as they're in the Conrad Strait, Jeff Kelly hard on the brakes. Chris Unfair hard on the brakes, coming out of the chase and into Murray's corner. We're gonna keep an eye on this battle as it continues. As Jonathan Kelly had a little bit of an off-road excursion. Looking like that Ferrari knows how to take and play with the dirt very well. We'll go and see exactly what happened. Was behind Kyle Busch and just went way too deep into the corner of the chase, the corner 21. Didn't clip it, but just caught a little bit too much speed. As Kyle Busch has a yellow flag of his own. White flag. He does have an extensive amount of damage, unfortunately. This is probably grounds to pit, unfortunately. As you kind of don't want to be having damage going up the mountain. Or down the mountain, regardless. Or anywhere in the mountain in Mount Panorama. Will Stewart not giving up. Trying to push on Albert. I think I missed the overtake. With was Chris in this? I'm not exactly too sure. Nonetheless though, Will is pushing and trying to get closer and closer and closer. Currently roughly a second behind Albert G, not Tranchese. Who, speaking of which, is in P1 right now. Finishing the lap. Starting the new one. Having an overall average pace of around 201. A high 201. So it's nothing to slack off in. Kyle Hirsch? Almost matching that pace though. He's doing a really good job to stay right behind him. Jonathan Kelly having a yellow flag, a serious yellow flag. What happened to him? Let's view the replay. Hopefully we can go back far enough. Not far enough. Well, this is in the corners labeled the chase. What I'm going to assume happened is he might have overshot it again or ended up clipping the inside of the chase as we're now into the live view. Alan Arevalo having a Yellow flag of his own coming out of the pits? So we're gonna review this to see what exactly happened. Not coming out of the pits, it's just tail corner, turn 1. Just spinning himself out. Got a little bit too pedal happy. Step too hard on the go juice. With on a side note, this is Alan's. I would assume his first race back after having a bunch of wheel and pedal issues. His previous pedal and wheel set wasn't too great, as Justin Fry has a mistake of his own. Ooh. What's going on to our drivers on race 2? Let's see what exactly happened here. He hit the gnarliest bump coming out of that corner that I did not know was even existing. That upset his car really badly and threw him for a loop, as we're currently now watching the live view. Looks to have taken some damage, but not enough to warrant a pit. He might just have some aero damage, so he's just gonna be suffering a bit of from his top end speed. As Greg Landry and Chris Unfair have 2 separate battles. Chris Unfair trying to get up on Jeff Kelly, as Anthony Muno just goes way too deep and loses 2 positions because of that. Alan Arevalo and Greg Landry allowed to get on by because of his one mistake. Chris Unfair not letting Jeff Kelly breathe. As they're heading down the mountain. Hard on the brakes. Jeff Kelly going a little bit too wide. Chris having the optimal line. Within slipstream range, he will be closing the gap. Potentially not enough to make an overtake happen. Oh my god, does that Mustang pull? I'm wondering if Jeff Kelly can feel the pressure, and 100% he can, as that mistake pretty much confirms it, that he is watching his rear view, making sure Chris Unfair doesn't get any advantage. Unfortunately for him though, even though they both made a mistake coming out of Murray's corner, Chris was able to make less of a mistake. Able to overtake Jeff Kelly, turn 1. Unfortunate for Jeff. Potentially though, this is what Jeff could need or will need to light the as he goes way deep, coming out of the cutting. As I was gonna say, this might be the match that needs to be lit under Jeff Kelly to make him push even harder and set up blazing new fast laps. But maybe he's pushing just a tad bit too hard, or losing a little bit of focus there. Nonetheless, though, he's doing a really good job to stay within an arm's reach of Chris Unfair, as Chris makes almost a he makes a mistake coming going downhill, clips the right side, almost lost total control. This allowed Jeff Kelly to close the gap very quickly, and unbeknownst to them, Albert G is getting very close. Their infighting has allowed him to close the gap and start creeping up. He's also bringing Will Stewart along. who's roughly 4 seconds behind. If enough mistakes happened between these two for the battle for P5, there'd be more drivers going to be getting into this mix. And I just noticed my volume for the car noises was a little bit too low. Hopefully that's a lot better. Must have been extremely awkward just to listen to my heavenly voice going on for like almost an hour now. Anyway, the battle for P6 is raging on. Wait. What is going on? Victor Sabo is in P1? As Jeff Kelly gets very, very close, and I'm trying to make sense of the leaderboards, Albert Tranchisi now is in P1. Something is up with the scoreboard or with the ranking. Nonetheless, this might be Jeff's opportunity to get very, very close to Chris Unfair, as he is putting on the heat, closing that gap, touching the inside of that curve, which is quite dangerous. You do not want to be doing that too often. This seems like it's going to be a battle that's going to run go the extra mile. It's going to last the entire length of the course until one of these drivers makes a mistake big enough to warrant a pit of some sort. As overall, every other of the drivers are settling into their positions. The only other driver words. Allen has a yellow flag. Justin Fry has a yellow flag. Potential yellow flags. As Jeff closes the distance even more, he is 2/10 behind Chris Unfair. I'm going to place my bets and say he's going to start backing off ever so slightly, because being that close in the mountain is risky. He's still within slipstream range though. He is getting all of the boost he can and closing the gap. He's trying to claim the inside line for the start of the chase. Chris Unfair, though, having the outside line for the ending of the chase. As Chris still manages to hold on to P5, Jeff Kelly doing everything he can to make Chris fumble the bag and lose focus and just overall lose that position. Jeff coming along, getting very, very close, pretty much pushing up against Chris Unfair. Will Stewart has a white flag. Not sure what that was about. We'll continue with the battle between these two. It seems that Jeff is very, very strong going up the mountain. I should really stop talking sometimes. The streamer's curse is unfolding right in front of our eyes. I was gonna say it looks like Jeff Kelly is very, very strong going up the mountain because he closes the gap from Chris Unfair, but then ends up backing off going down the mountain just because I guess he doesn't want to make a mistake or get involved into an incident with Chris Unfair. As Albert G is getting very, very close to Jeff Kelly. Enough mistakes were made to allow him to close the gap. Having a little bit of a slide coming out of the chase, not suffering too much time loss because of it. In fact, actually closing the gap even more. Jeff Kelly needs to focus up and try to ignore his rear view, put his head down, and try to focus all his energy into getting close to Chris Unfair. Eventually, you could only hope that he's gonna crack under pressure. Jacob Meyer has a white flag now. As he goes off-road just a little bit, goes a little bit too deep into that corner. Kevin Barfield is going to be getting into a nice heated battle going up the mountain with Alexander Savo. Some predictions are coming into fruition as he goes a little bit too wide. That's gonna lose him a couple tenths off Alexander Savo, who had a cleaner line there. As they come out of the force elbow. The battle for who is the better BMW driver is going on right here, ladies and gentlemen. This is the battle for P9. Kevin Barfield getting close to Alexander Sabo. He's within roughly a second and a half from him. He does have the pace as Alexander Sabo's current best is a 2:05. Kevin Barfield's best is a 2:04. And Kevin Barfield is also putting a faster lap right now at 2:05 versus Alexander Sabo's 2:06. He's also closing the gap, no doubt, with the help of Slipstream. He's closing the gap quite fast, in fact. As they go up the mountain around Griffin's Mount. Heading out of Solomon Park. And going to be approaching Skyline. starting the downhill of the mountain. Currently a second behind him. Seems Kevin struggles a little bit to keep the consistency around the mountain. Starting the mountain and exiting the mountain, though, he's going strong. He's pretty consistent. All the slight mistakes don't end up hindering him coming out of the mountain and going into the mountain. Just during the mountain section, it seems where he tends to struggle just a tad bit. Right in front of them, we have Will Stewart in the camera. He's currently in P8. If Kevin Barfield can get this move happening right now, he will be in the running to try to snag P8 from Will. We have a yellow flag with Victor Sabo, but I do not want to get away from this fight. Another yellow flag with Daniel Hurd who's in P4. I wonder what's going on. And Jeff Kelly, a white flag. A lot of our drivers are slowing down. There has to be an incident up somewhere in the mountain that these two drivers are going to have to contend with. It's going to be getting quite dicey if whatever incident is up there doesn't get removed. These two are going balls to the wall to claim P9. Will Stewart having a little bit of an issue there. Goes way wide. Off the line, off the racing line. Will Stewart actually having damage of his own. He must have sustained this in the mountain while we were viewing the battle with Alexander Sabo and Kevin Barfield for P9. Kevin Barfield, no! He has went a little bit too deep, probably too hard on those brakes, broke traction on the rear, caused him to slide. Ah, that's gotta hurt. That's he was doing so well. Having another little bit of a mistake. Those tires have to be cooking. The rears at least have to be cooking for a little bit. How unfortunate for him. Very fortunate for Alexander Sabo, who gets to breathe a sigh of relief that he no longer has to contend with Barfield. Nonetheless, though, Will Stewart is next up on the chopping block. Alexander Sabo, hungry for more, wanting to reclaim or claim that P8 spot. They both have damage. Right now it's how time flies. The leader's already in the final lap. I did not realize that Albert G has been in some sort of incident. I do want to view the replay, but Will Stewart is coming in hot. Coming with Alexander Sabo. I'm wondering if this is enough damage to warrant a potential pit from Albert here. Wondering how much of his pace is going to be suffered or is suffering. As a bunch of our other drivers, Jacob Meyer and Anthony Muno, have yellow and white flags. Will Stewart still on the defense. Half defense, half offense, trying to get close to Albert. To be honest, I'm not sure if he will have enough time. This is the final lap. Zach Manriquez, though, he will be trying to make moves happen. Potentially, unless this is the final lap for him. It is not. They are still in the lap, so this is going to be one more lap. As both drivers are too focused on each other, both will make the identical mistake. Alexander Sabo is getting ever so close to Will Stewart.
The leader has finished the race.
So congratulations to Albert Tranghese. He's the winner of race 2. Pretty much knocked race 2 out of the park, as well as race 1. Kyle Hirsch coming in second. Alexander Sabo, though, right behind Will. This is going to be the be-all, end-all. He has the the pace. Will try not to let him by, doing everything he can to keep him behind him. Alexander Sabo gets right alongside him. Goes over those bumps kind of aggressively, a little bit harsh. I'm surprised the Beamer was able to absorb all that. They both go wide. Will saving it. Amazing. This is it. If he can go in for a last dive bomb right here. Alexander Sabo hard on the brakes. Will hard on the brakes. Good job. Congrats, Alexander Sabo, for fighting for that P8 spot. Great job on Will to attempt at the great defense there. He ended up in a P9. And here's your race winner. We'll go down the list while a bunch of our other drivers are actually finishing. We'll actually see what is going on. Zach must have blew that corner extremely bad. Ending up in P12. Craig Landry managing to overtake him last minute. Victor Sabo still out on the field. He's coming in, going to be finishing his lap. P13. Alan Arevalo finishing his lap. Coming in that P16. Wow. Ladies and gentlemen, that was Bathurst. A bunch of incidents here, a bunch of incidents there. Very, very soon, I will be updating and refreshing intros, streams, and everything for the new season. So hopefully you'll stick with us long enough to see those changes come into fruition. Congrats to Albert for taking P1 for both race 1 and race 2. Congrats to, I believe, Daniel Hirsch taking the podium for race 2. And Kyle Hirsch taking the podium for... Wait, Daniel Hirsch race 1. Kyle Hirsch race 2. I'm not sure if they're in a team, but I remember last season they were. I guess before I leave. It'll be a good good thing to say. Yeah, this is our website, 5fi-racing.com. That's 5 the number 5 racing.com. If you'd like, you can join us on Discord. You're probably watching on Twitch or YouTube. It gets uploaded later. You can follow us on IG. Check us out on Reddit. But we're going to be clicking on SimGrid right now. If you click on SimGrid, you can join the 2 championships, or the 2 seasons that are out right now. Is the GT4s that I'm actually currently actively participating in, and the Race 1 winner for today in Bathurst, Albert Tranchisi, is streaming the GT4 championships. So if you like, you can go over here and check this out. Register. It says manage registration to me because I'm already registered in there. So you can go in there and check it out. If you rather join us for the GT3s though, click on Founders League Season 6. Currently it says registration closed. I'm assuming that's going to be opened after the end of today. Or I sure hope so. I'll get details on that. See if the registration is actually closed, in which case I'm so sorry, you're just gonna have to wait for next season, or if it's gonna be open soon, then please join us. It'll be a great way to race and show off your skills, especially with a potential live audience. Well, ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here, for sticking on by. I'll see you guys next week, where we will be in Imola for dual sprints. I'll see you guys next time. Have a good night.
Past it